Hello, and welcome to the instructions for applying to the development program. Whether it's strings or instrumental, this is the place for you. Um, now, I am going to jump right into the website. We're sitting right now looking at eci.wrdsb.ca, and we're going to click on Arts, and then from there, we're going to click on New IAP Applicants. And this is where we're going to find a lot of our important deadlines, including the January 12th deadline of getting your application in submitted. And then there's obviously going to be the video recordings and audition materials that you're going to be handing in the following week on the 19th. So you're going to see all those details, and there's also going to be some other videos that go over this information. And this video is specifically for people interested in the development program. Which would be someone who does not have access to the instrument that they required, or the instrument maybe they chose to play in grade 7 and did not get a lot of exposure to that instrument, but did discover that they were definitely interested in focusing on that instrument as a major at Eastwood. Then this is potentially the program for you. It's tough times these days, and we're trying to figure out a way that will make sure everybody's accommodated despite all of this. And yeah, so let's move on. We're just going down. One thing I wanted to address was something about auditioning on an instrument when you don't have an instrument. We have a form for you to fill out. So that's the first thing I want to address is, let's say you knew you wanted to play trombone, and you even got a taste of it. What if you started with it in February last year, and all of a sudden March hits and you can't play it the same way that you would have liked to, but you did decide, you know what, I really want to develop my skills on that. Now here you are in grade 8, and you're thinking, I still want to play trombone, but I don't have access. Well, first thing you're going to do is you're going to ask your principal, ask your music teacher, can you access a trombone so that you can start working on an audition? Because you do need to work with an instrument that you want to audition with. That is one thing that we are asking of you. And so you're going to request from your teacher or principal of the school you're at, can you access that instrument? If that it doesn't work out because different schools are operating under the same rules from public health, but there are some circumstances that have resulted in students not having any access to the instrument. So if you're in one of those positions, then what we'd like you to do is fill this form out. So if I go ahead and click on this form, you'll see that you have to enter your OEN. So read this information carefully. It's kind of like your student number, but not quite. But you can find your OEN on different forms that you would have. And if you don't know where to find it, then talk to your teachers about that, and they can help you. You need your first name, last name. What are you known as? We need a parent email, very important, and a parent phone number, and your school board. And then ultimately, what program would you like to apply for? Strings, instrumental, and development. So we're also dealing with other students that are in the that are gunning for the main major and that are comfortable with their ability to get to that point. They might just be auditioning for strings or instrumental, but this video is for students that don't quite or aren't quite at that level that's required. Maybe you've looked at the studies that are required for strings and instrumental, and you realize, okay, there's no way. Because you haven't been playing enough, and that's just the way things are because of COVID. So we're in the development video right now. So if you're interested in strings or instrumental, but don't quite have the skill set that you need because of lack of experience due to COVID, then you're in the right place, and you'd be selecting development. Okay. What instrument do you need to borrow? So you should know what instrument you want to develop your skills on, and perhaps audition in the development program for. So it could be any one of these instruments. So if it's strings, it's violin, viola, cello, or string bass. Okay. If it's any of these other instruments, flute, clarinet, sax, trumpet, French horn, trombone, baritone, or tuba, Those are all options as well. And note that we also have an option for drum pad and drumsticks. Most of you should have your access to that. But let's say for whatever reason you don't have drumsticks and a drum pad, then let me know and we'll hook you up. And you also notice that piano isn't an option here. Electric guitar isn't an option. Just because of the format of how we teach music, it's an amazing skill set to share. I encourage you to do so, but piano majors can also audition for piano. So if you happen to have your grade 6 conservatory piano, then you should probably check out the piano audition requirements underneath instrumental. But these are your choices if you want to get into the development program. That's very important you understand that. These are your choices. They don't fall outside of this. Okay? So once you fill that out, press submit. That's only if you don't have access. Okay? If you have access, we'd like it if you try it other ways, because we have means, but we can't outfit everyone with instruments. We can outfit some people. So we're going to scroll down until we get to music development. Okay, so on this link down here, you're on this little box here, you're going to see several different things you can click on. The most important thing to click on is right here, and it's the music development audition instructions. All these other things are places that will take you to some of the requirements, but it's important you understand the requirements first and foremost. So I'm going to click on that. There we go. We're in the right place. Development music program, and notice that we have both instrumental and strings as options. So bear with me as I just read through some of this stuff. Whoops. Whoa. I'm just going to try to zoom in so you can see a little bit better. I might even be cutting off some of that with my video image off to the side here. I can't see it yet. It's the software I'm using doesn't let me see what my face looks like. Hopefully it's all right. Anyway, here we go. Video submission deadline, January 19th. Remember, your application is due on the 12th, okay? So there's two different things you're submitting. There's your application, and the requirements for that in a different location. I'm focusing on what you're handing in once the application is all sorted. Now it's the audition, okay? So the audition is due on the 19th. If you can get it in before that, that'd be even better, just so you can stay away from that kind of stress of leaving things to the last minute. Evaluation criteria. Because of the temporary loss of instrumental and strings programs in elementary schools due to COVID-19, we are offering you an opportunity to audition as an IAP music development student for the 2021-22 school year. If you are a student at a school that offers band or strings, you may audition as a development student without the knowledge and experience on your instrument that is typically required for IAP music majors. You will still need to demonstrate musical skill and the ability to play your chosen instrument at a basic level. Please email Arlene Thomas, that's our registrar, if you currently do not have access to an instrument from your school. We can make arrangements for you. Another thing you do is just fill out that form I pointed to it earlier on. That was created after I put that little statement there. So that form is a good way to deal with that. If you are accepted to this program, you will be a development student in either music instrumental or music strings programs. You will be able to move to the IAP major class in grade 10 on the recommendation of the teacher. So there's a video requirement for this, and you may submit each video separately, or you can combine them all into one video. It's up to you on whether you're feeling tech savvy enough to do that. One thing, and here's what the video requirements look like. So part one is basically you just introducing yourself and your instrument of choice. So it's even though your application does require a video introduction of yourself, this is a little bit different because we're looking to see what instrument you're planning on auditioning for, whether it's a string or a band instrument, and also why. So just give us a video submission. Introduce yourself, talk briefly about your background in music, tell us what instrument you're auditioning with, and explain why you made that choice. And there's all of your instrument choices, okay? Has to be one of those. So that's part one. That's easy, right? Part two, here's where you're going to create a video recording of yourself performing a solo or study on the musical instrument you chose in the introduction video. You may play anything that demonstrates your current skill level on your instrument. So please, this is where you just pick something that you feel you'd have to work a little bit on to get it. But don't pick something that's obviously out of your realm, because in this case, you've probably only got grade 7. Maybe if you were lucky and you had grade 7 instrumental music in the first semester last year, then you'd have a little bit more background. But then there's people that took grade 7 second semester that only have a few weeks under their belt. So just pick something you feel you'd have to work a little bit to get it down, but don't pick something out of your realm. And it could be something in a method book. You could talk to your music teacher about that. Anything that demonstrates your current skill. So that's part two. So you've got your introduction video and you have your snippet of you playing your instrument. Very important. Part three. So this is where you demonstrate your musical skills. So you're going to record yourself clapping each line of the rhythm sight reading exercise, which I'm going to show you. Each line becomes progressively more difficult. And you basically begin clapping the first line. You're going to repeat it. And then you're going to proceed as far as you're able. And feel free to pause in between. Okay? I'm going to go back to the sheet to show you what I'm talking about. So let's go back to the website, not the sheet, the website. And now here we are. So part 1, 2, and 4 see instructions. And I talked about part 1 and 2. Part 3 is rhythm sight reading, which I just addressed. So let's take a look at that document. So you've got your intro, you've got your solo little bit tidbit, and then now here you're recording your rhythm skills. So you're going to set your metronome or metronome app to about 75 or 80 BPM. And in order to do that, here's what you do. You go metronome. If you don't have a metronome, you could just Google metronome, and there you have one. Google has its own. And you just drag that down to 75. If you want to take it slower, that's fine, because there's some 16th rhythms in there. You might have a hard time clapping really fast, but 75 is totally fine. The speed isn't going to determine whether you're in the program or not. And neither is your ability to clap these rhythms. This is a way for us to measure your musical skill. Now, for the development program, it would be helpful if you had some of that. But again, I don't want you to worry too much about how far you can get with these rhythms. So, once you find it, press play, and you're going to let that click a few times. You're going to record the metronome in the background. And while that's playing, you're going to take a close look at these rhythms. Whoops, I'm zooming right in there. Note that we're in 4/4 time. And so we're hearing the click, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'd start clapping those rhythms according to that tempo. It seems pretty straightforward. Just remember to repeat. So you're clapping it all the way through, then you're going to repeat again. And then you're going to pause a little bit, let it continue to click, and then you're going to do the 3/4 measure, the 3/4 line, I mean, and you're going to repeat that. Then pause, continue to let it click, going to this, think about what a triplet might sound like. Okay, going to let it click after you've clapped that through twice, and then into the 3/4. Okay, clapping all the way through, doing it twice, pause, then finally 6/8. Now here you're going to have to adjust a few things, and if you understand what 6/8 is and you're able to clap this, amazing. If you don't, that's okay, just leave it. Okay, you're just going to take these as far as you can and make it as accurate as you can, all in one video, please. That's enough clicking. All right, back to our instructions. That's the sight reading, and next we're going to talk about the melody reading. But I will go into this first. Melodic skills. Record yourself playing, singing, or humming the recorded melodies available on the website. They're all in B flat major for band instruments, and they're D major for strings. Okay. Since you haven't been you likely haven't been playing a lot, I encourage you to sing back the melodies. But if you think you can play it on your instrument, that's amazing. Then please do so if you feel that you can do that. So it's sort of up to you. And if you are going to sing it back, then maybe try the strings one. If the B flat version doesn't fit quite within your range of singing, you can try singing back to the D major version. So you'll see under strings and vocal on a different category, you can actually find recordings there. Perform as many in the series as you're able. Okay. And that exercise is geared to assess your overall musicality. You do not have to play these melodies on your instrument. You may hum or sing them instead. So I'll go back to that. Here we go. So melody 1 sounds like this. I don't know if we'll fix this. And it's just going to go through each one. So make sure you pause it. And then once it plays, pause, and then play it back. So if you press record before you begin this exercise, that'd be great. So you might want to practice it a few times and figure it out. I'm okay with you practicing. I can't really gauge how much people are practicing this. Just do what you think you need to do in order to get as close as you can. So you're going to press record on your device. Make sure we can see you. It's very important that we can see you through all of this process. And then press play on the melody playback. And then press pause, play it or sing it, and then do the next one. Pause, play it or sing it, and then next one. Press pause, play it or sing it, and that's your melody playback assignment. You're going to turn that in. I think this might get changed. So we're playing this video. This might look a little different. I'm just looking at my instructions and comparing the two. So it says part 3 and part 4. I believe this is part 3A and part 3B. Because part 3 is the technical requirement. So just a note, if I go back to the sheet, let's take a look at what it says. Whoops, I went too far. I'm gonna scroll back down. Let's find that sheet again. There we go. So if I scroll down, part 3, oh yeah, so we're gonna have to fix this in the website. It will look more close to this. So part 3A, rhythmic, part 3B, melodic. And then part 4, this is an optional thing where if you would like to showcase some sort of musical ability that you might have, then feel free to do so. Just if you feel it will help us gauge your passion for music. But I'm guessing if you are singing something that you're very proud of, then maybe the vocal audition is a better place for you. And if you're playing something on piano, maybe the piano audition is a better place for you. So keep that in mind. Consider those as options. But if you feel that you need to play guitar or piano just to showcase your musicality, then that's an option for you here. Just recognize that that we don't have there's not a place to develop and cultivate guitar playing skills in this program within the classroom setting. So that's why we don't have guitar auditions. But by all means, if you feel it just does help us and our ability to see that you're passionate about music, then feel free to audition on that. And there's your submission instructions. Make sure you have all the requirements: video introduction, solo, study, rhythm skill, melodic skill, optional. Part 4, you're going to download all of your videos in MP4 format. You're going to rename your videos with your full name and title of the program. If you're submitting multiple videos, remember to number them in sequence. So it could be first name, last name, development, one. That could be your introduction, for instance, okay? If you really are having a hard time renaming files, then just maybe communicate that with Arlene or registrar, email me. I can help you with that if that's a concern. And then you're going to upload your properly named videos to the digital submissions Google form, which isn't ready as I'm filming this, but it will be ready by the time this film is released. Otherwise, I would point you in that direction. And just note that we can only accept videos downloaded in MP4. We cannot accept files that are in other formats. So just if you're having difficulty with that, just please, please, please email Arlene Thomas or myself to see if you can get some help with that. All performances must be appropriate for school environment. The only thing I'd like to suggest at this point is to check out the requirements or tips and tricks of recording a good video for this kind of exercise, because most of us are stuck with our phones as a device if we're lucky. Some people don't even have that. So we're in challenging times, and we're all just going to do the best we can with this. And I really hope that this is a good venue for you to perhaps realize your dream of coming to Eastwood. And I look forward to seeing you in your video. Good luck and take care.